Hello, everyone. I know everything. Definitely, totally. Um, mm, totally unprepared. But anyway, this was a very, very ad hoc decision to do this. So apologies for being um, unorganized. Still skipping the Game Maker Studio 2 update because I have no idea if they finally fixed that bug where if you import more than one sprite, it totally breaks and it's impossible to import more than one sprite at once. Which was a nice thing to realize, and I had to roll back, go back one update so that I could keep doing the things that I was doing. Because I'm definitely not in the mood of learning new stuff. I'm just realizing that I think you can see it, but this is a mess down here. I think I have to fix this. Maybe it's not even, it's not even a mess, it just looked like a mess. I'm talking into myself instead of the microphone. I'm very good at this. I'm incredible. Isn't it funny how because of streaming and YouTube and all that stuff and podcasts, a lot of people kind of learned how to basically do radio and television, at least to some degree. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I want to oh my god, please don't play sound, Twitch. Thank you. I wanted to open this thing, then I need to stop this, or else I'll get very, very, very concerned about seeing my face move all the time, and all that. Yeah, okay, so stuff and work and things. Oh, by the way, I haven't done anything. Hi, my name is Eric. I work on GB Robo. It's a game about shooting bosses and all that cool stuff. Wishlisted on Steam, so now I did that. Apologies for half-assing this, but I mean, I'm fairly certain that the people who watch this, I would say 99% of the 2 people who watch this have wishlisted GB Rover. And if not, maybe you want to do that. But I'm not your boss. I'm not anyone's boss, and I never want to be a boss, so who knows, really. Giving you deep impressions of my Game Maker desktop. Yeah, I want to build more levels. That's what I wanted to do. While also jamming out to that cool music in the background. Can people hear stuff? Yeah, people can hear stuff. Something. Oh yeah. This is how we do stuff here. Still haven't. You know what? Let's do this just right now because it's very annoying. I mean, the parallax object can stay because this way I'm always reminded to place one in, and if I forget, the game won't crash, so that's also a good thing. Or maybe I should remove it so that I'm actually reminded to put something in there, or otherwise the game will crash. And I'm not confused because things aren't working. Okay. Then we'll need to place down other objects. Yeah. I think... No. Pause. And then into instances we need to place a player handler. Yeah. Then we'll go in here. No, that already has an 8x8 grid, yeah. Then in instances, we also need or want an 8x8 grid to make placing enemies and all that fun stuff more easy. And yeah, So now we kind of updated the template. I'm pretty sure I'll like confuse myself at some point. It's going to happen, but it's okay. We'll survive it. We all will survive it. Yeah, that was like the thing I intended to be doing. Oh yeah, also like something I like always forget. What I could do in just a moment. I have no idea. Is this a level? I mean, these are all levels. Yeah, that's one that we could be using. Cool. I should maybe not. I always forget, like desktop cover, like desktop, like thing is always. Again, it's not like this is anything like illegal information or whatever, but like I don't think that I should like have like a non-public Discord server up on the stream, so apologies for that. Thankfully it was only for just a moment. For some reason my leg hurts. Maybe it's because I'm walking so much, but who knows really. Anyway. Okay. We have this level here. Is there some? Oh yeah, I also wanted to, so that I don't accidentally show stuff up that has no business about being on stream. Let's quit Telegram and let's quit Discord. So, like now I'm in working mode or whatever. He says while having I'm misgendering myself here. They say while having Twitter open on the other monitor. I have like, this is a good day. So anything cool happened? Well, I made croissants yesterday. I did stream yesterday, right? Yeah. I think it was in the time between rolling out the croissants and actually like making them. Like, I think like I talked about it before a few times, but when you're making croissants or whatever, you like, it's a whole process that takes several days. The recipe I'm using now basically goes over, it says 3 days, but like overall I think it's more like 48 hours roughly. Like you make the basic dough like in the evening of one day, then the next morning you like put the butter in there and layer the dough over the day, and then you let it rest overnight again, and then you make the croissants. So it's like kind of like more like 2.5 days. Yeah, so I did that, and I rolled out the dough and all that, and like, because it was like the thing with croissants is that you have to be very careful about the temperature, because you are laminating butter into your dough, and if the butter is too soft, it's very easy to destroy the layering and like kind of like end up more creating like a big mess inside, or like even to the point where like the layers are like destroyed to such a degree that like when you bake it, the butter just leaks out completely, and you end up with like fairly dry and like weird looking things. It all happened to me, so I know what I'm talking about here, kind of. So I did that, and like while I was rolling out the dough so it's like basically a 3-step process. You have the as I said, the basic dough thing that you then like where you then prepare like a block of butter, like it's 280 grams in the recipe, that you like basically beat into shape. There are like different ways of doing it. The recipe that I'm using like says that you have to cut like slabs of butter out and then form it into a square and roll that out. What I'm doing is just I take a pack of butter, like add 30 grams to it, and just beat it into shape with a rolling pin. Like just literally beat on it like for like 10 minutes or so until it's like roughly in the shape of like 7 by 7 inches or whatever. And then you like roll out the dough that you have into a square that is bigger than your butter square, and put the butter square like in the center of it, fold the dough over it, and then you start rolling out, and you roll it out, fold it over itself, roll it out, fold it over itself like 3 times, each time with a rest in between, and sometimes like resting it while it's rolling, like resting it in the fridge, because again, if it's too warm and the butter gets too soft, like you end up getting problems. And that's something that happened to me yesterday. This isn't like a very good idea to talk about this while I'm building this out, because I'll definitely forget something, but who cares? So I like during the last like rollout to fold the dough, I suddenly realized like the dough was fairly like was resisting getting rolled out for a while. Like it didn't really wasn't really able to elongate it to a degree that I wanted, so I had to do the thing where like roll it out for a while, put it back in the fridge, roll it out for a while, put it back in the fridge. And I still ended up, probably because I applied too much pressure, because that's the other problem when you're rolling out dough is, again, if you're applying too much pressure with your rolling pin, you can also end up destroying the layers of butter, because you're like basically squishing them together. And I think that happened because at some point I realized that like there was butter leaking out of like the surface area of the dough, which happened to me like a few like already at some point during a previous attempt, and I knew that if I'm not careful at that point, I might end up with like a complete waste of everything, because like the end result, I mean, it's still edible, but it's not nearly as pleasant to eat as like something that has worked, or like a good croissant. And so yeah, I was very careful, actually stopped rolling it out and at some point and just folded it as it was at that point, because I figured, okay, if I'm doing more than what I did so far, I'm just going to like exasperate the problem. And if I fold the dough over itself, the damaged layers will get folded into the like croissant, and like there isn't any leakage on the surface area. And I figured I'd much rather have like butter leakage within the like finished product instead of like it leaking out. That was kind of my reasoning. And so yeah, I had to like work with that. I kind of went overboard, I think, with some things. So I because again, it was like slightly too warm yesterday, and I ended up putting ice packets on my working surface before I started like rolling out the dough, just to make sure that again the dough stays cool enough. I put my rolling pin into the fridge to make sure that it's not warm and all that. Still ended up with some issues. I think it had more to do with me applying too much pressure and not as much with the temperature. But yeah, and I was like very concerned that the croissants would end up like not being good. But thankfully, like I baked them. When did I bake them? Wait a second. This goes. Let me check something. I have the feeling that this is... Yeah. Ha! I knew it. I knew it. This thing is misplaced. This needs to go here. Good that I, like, caught that. Otherwise, we would have gotten a problem. So... I figured, like, I don't want... Because I wasn't sure, okay, will the... And this will all make sense why I did that, but I wasn't so sure if they would, like, work because of the, like, problems I had while rolling out the dough. I decided to, like, forgo the step of, like, let's say, like, shorten the time that the dough has to rest or had to rest in the fridge between the last, like, folding and the, like, the time you, like, finally roll it out and, like, shape the croissant. So, again, the recipe says to, like, let it rest overnight for, like, I think it would end up being around, like, 14 to 16 hours. And I ended up, like, having it, like, rest for around 8. Started, like forming them at, I think at around, what was it? Like 9:30 p.m. or whatever. May have actually been like around 9 hours of rest, but yeah. So that's something that I did, and like the rolling kind of worked. Like it was like mostly fine, and that gave me confidence that okay, I kind of avoided like a complete disaster, but I still wasn't sure like if the like resulting product would be good in any way. And then I went on a walk, came back, baked them, and they were incredible. They were really, really good. I think that those are the best batch I've made so far. The last one that I did was also pretty good, but like for me the taste wasn't quite right. And these I feel taste much better. I have no idea why, but they do, and that's great. And yeah, so I did that. I also made sourdough bagels because again I have sourdough lying around, and I need to do something with it. Like I should put it a bit further up, otherwise we'll bonk against the ceiling all the time. Did those, made them this morning because I thought I would go visit my brother today and like for breakfast. Turns out that like he was like he said the wrong day and he meant Sunday. So I did everything a day too early, which is a bit of a shame because now everything will be slightly old. It's not a big deal, like I put most of it in the freezer, so I think it'll be okay, but it's still like there's always something that makes it not as quite ideal. Like I still haven't had like a day with baking. I think maybe one day through the whole like year, and like I bake once per week, more or less. And I hadn't had a day where like a week where like everything went completely like perfectly right. Like there was always something slightly not perfect, and I'm still like running towards this stuff and hoping that I'll get it at some point. Oh god, I have to like check where does the... Oh yeah, oh god, I forgot so much stuff. This needs a platform. So this is going to be an ice level, but also a fire level, because that's how like this game works. Why is there like an ice fire mixed level in GB Rover? Well, I once did a Twitter poll asking, okay, which type of level is more annoying? And people kind of like were... I don't even know if they were like divided on the issue, or if there was like an actual like split. But like based on the poll, I decided, you know what would be most annoying is like to just do an ice fire mixed level and have it this way, because that sounds fun. So that's that. How does this work? I mean, like, there are like volcanoes in the snow, right? And like geothermal stuff. So this could also be like industrial ice, which doesn't melt. You know, like in these conspiracy theories, where like people hold lighters to their snowballs and say they are made out of plastic. Kind of like that. But in real, definitely. Is that all? There's still not a player around. I feel like I'm. Oh yeah, I know what I'm forgetting. Going to do it in just a moment. So let's plug the player in here. I guess I can also place these spawner. This might be too high. I'll have to see. Yeah, this should be okay. Players there. Oh yeah. You see, I forgot to place the parallax thing. And the game wouldn't even crash in this, like, in this kind of stage because it's a purely horizontal one. Okay, this one? Okay, is there like something else that I need to place down? Admin, pause, parallax, instances, handler place that. Interesting, there's no pause in this room. Let's rectify this. Oh, I made a mistake. The pause object does not go into the instance layer. I think that's all. Let's. Oh yeah, I also need to. Need to make these visible. Okay. This hasn't really changed, right? Oh, it had changed. Good. Okay, this is kind of evil. I mean, I'm also like ignoring a little bit that you have, like in the like final game mode, you will have the thingamajig. What's it called? Your full, like all of your weapons at your disposal. So it's not that bad. It's still like rough, like really, really rough in parts. Like it's interesting how like you shoot exactly over their heads. It's also like I have to change some stuff. Actually, like come to think of it, because it's kind of like not the right difficulty progression. Let me. You see, like if you're using other weapons, it's not that big of a deal. So, but basically these two things need to like switch places to some degree. So what we need to do here is do this. And also this needs to be different. Because like what I meant with difficulty progression is that you want to have like a thing where like the game, like the challenge gets progressively harder, but like you have like these fear encounters in here. This should be like an easy one, like something where like things are fairly safe. Then it gets more difficult, then it gets even more difficult, and then it gets easy again. Right now this is like also, these are kind of like same-ish. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this, and then I'll do this again to make sure that like these are more like the same. Then this, so this is on like one height. I think we can do it like this now. Yeah. Maybe even have the floor down here. Then we maybe should be doing that instead. Maybe you should like make this larger. I don't even know if like you need floors and these ice things, but better be safe than sorry, right? Just to have a bit more space here. I think this should be a bit closer to what I want. Already like half an hour, what? I don't know what time is. I really don't. Just like in case someone wants to jump right in front of him, that you can do that. Honestly. Nah. This doesn't need to have ice physics. Yeah, okay, no, that works. That's all okay and good. Fine. So, let's do the fun part. Figure out how I built this. I think I already like did this, but yeah. Okay, this is all just that. Okay, great. So we need a tile layer down below. Which is just like dark. I guess it's this one. Okay, that's done. Now the next thing. The good thing here is that like the scrolling only is like only is on a horizontal level, so I don't have to bother with like having to line up these things. Because it's a pain. What's like layer number 5? I have no clue. Okay, that's these. Oh, maybe I should make this like much smaller, otherwise like stuff just gets occluded. Okay, yeah, that's that. Still don't know what this is. Oh, it's those. Okay. No. I clicked the wrong thing. I think this is like a layer where there's nothing in here. I don't see anything. Okay, so layer number 5 doesn't exist. 4 is these like horizontal pipes. These are vertical pipes. Again, 2 is something. I don't see anything here. And 1 is like these. Okay. Yeah, no, I can build that. So there isn't anything in 5. This is horizontal piping. The like, I wouldn't say difficult part here, but something that might be confusing is like having these things being kind of aligned with like platforms, so that people might mistake them like in the heat of the moment with like something they can stand on. Have to be mindful of that. I think that should be okay. I'll see it in the end. Let's start this again. I like the tracks and all that. Because like the like back parts of like back parts of this these like playlists or like the soundtrack is not as interesting. Like, so yeah. Okay, we have this. Oh yeah, 2 is nothing. 1 is like are these walls. Good. I'm just going to use this. I have to see how it looks by the end. I think, ooh, I need to put this a bit further down, and these also need to come down a bit. Otherwise things might look weird. Okay. Let's see how this looks so far. Let me try something. It's always interesting to see how far you can just fly through a stage. Well, this didn't work. Let's try this again. I just want to see how far I can get. Yeah, you can jump through the whole stage. Oh god, when you're like, ooh, it's fine, it's okay. Still need to figure out the timing, and that it'll be fine. I was just thinking, ooh, this could be like make it very easy to make a lot of like get very far, but like there'll be mechanisms in place to make things harder for people, and also who cares. Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. Okay, yeah. I made a smaller set. Yeah, here. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. This is how I'll do it. Okay, this will look weird, so I have to deactivate these tiles, otherwise I have no idea where the floor is. Who knows how much of this will like even stay visible at the end, but yeah. This is sometimes the problem when you have only 4 colors. Is like stuff overlapping. How did I do like several layers of lava? I never did it, right? Oh yeah, here. It's just those over and over. I think with like a thing in the background, but it's like... What is visible on the screen? I think I know what the problem is here. The X position gets adjusted, but I don't think that the Y position did get adjusted, so like the camera like position was slightly off. I was wondering, like, I mean, it's still like, maybe it wasn't off. No, it wasn't off. Like, I always forget about the like lower like 16 pixels like being occluded by the UI. So it's all good. It's all good. So we can just place this here, and it will look fine. Okay. So we have that. Now let's place the rest. First, we'll like do the ice blocks because that's the most simple to do, I guess. Wrong tile set. Ice block started here. Was just wondering if like there might have been also a tile, like a ice thing, but no, there isn't. So I'll do this, and then we'll do this. Oh, was a like have I been doing this? Okay, just these with snow on top. Okay, good, mostly. Still picking the wrong levels. Also, like, I rarely have this, I think, like in this stage. Yeah. I mean, I have these. These are all, like, ice platforms. Puh. I have to... I mean, I can probably just do this. I don't think I'll ever use these platforms for anything else, but I think... Ooh. I'm also in the... Oh no, this works. This works. Did I... Wait a second. No, okay. Okay, it's all good. But I have to do this. And now I have to do this. So, okay, good. Don't ask me how like snow exists above a fire pit. It just does. Oh yeah, I'm also like now realizing a bunch of other shit. So we have this, this, and this. Okay, now. I mean, this isn't like all that important, but oh well. Okay, the camera moves over here, so we can place some rocks over here, that it doesn't look so sparse. You know? Like we have this one. Goes here. Also I can go in here because it's like the same background color. No, and place those here and there, maybe there and there, just so that it again looks a bit more like that there's stuff. So much about like building this thing, and I sometimes like it's so hard for me to like, and this is like a real like problem to some degree. Like I have real trouble framing what I'm doing here as like me like having any clue about anything, and not me just like fiddling around and like going with what I feel is right. So I can say oh, this is important for like visual composition or whatever, so that like you communicate more like of a sense of that this is a like real place and not like just a jumbled mess of platforms. But I actually have no idea if this is true or not. So this is like, it's like, and this is so much of this stuff, like, and like not wanting, like, this isn't like me like trying to shit on people or whatever, but so much of this like of game development advice and all that, so much of it is just people at some point, and I mean it's the same with like a lot of like YouTube stuff, is a lot of people at some point or another deciding that, yeah, I'm an expert in this, and I'm just going to push this, I'm an expert in this, until it's either true or enough people believe that it's true. And again, not for everyone and all that, but like this, because it's so, first of all, because everyone can, like, what is it what I'm trying to say here? Like, basically, the trouble I'm having is like, I can probably in some way explain better why I'm doing certain things here. There's like, where's the I have the feeling that I built everything, yeah, a tad too high. That's great. That's really, really great. What happened here? Like, something's wrong. No, this placement is like perfectly fine. Like, yeah, no, this is where it's like supposed to be, and this is how it's supposed to look. Like, you see how the frame like has the lowest two things here? Oh god, what is this? Let me check something. Let's deactivate this. What's... Let's remove this one. Just, like, I have, like, a slight, something. I want to get this out of the way. This is the wrong layer. Okay. So, a lot of the like, or some of the advice on like marketing your game or like marketing you as like a game developer is, and I saw this like a few days ago again, like, no, it's not that. Why is the camera like moving where it's not supposed to be? So at least I can now like place the parallax object again. So a lot of the advice for game developers is like, okay, you like, or like some of it that I recently saw is like present yourself as an expert in your field, like share advice, share knowledge and all that. And I'm like perfectly for like sharing knowledge and all that. That's not my problem. It's not like, ooh, these are all my secrets, I don't want anyone to watch this. It's more like I have to overcome my personal embarrassment. More like this. Let me check something. Because I'm utterly confused at this. Completely confused. What's a good thing that we can place down there? Oh yeah, I know what I can place down there. You. Because you're jumping and I can see where exactly your feet are. And if I don't see you at all, that means that the like screen is like completely off. So some of the advice is like share knowledge, be an expert in your field and all that, because you see this? This is what, like, again. Put the camera up. You see where the camera is? Here. You see this? And then you see this. Something's weird here. So, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's aligned with here. This should be 8. I can't really count like without you seeing it, so I have to like touch my screen for a moment. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. It's 7. Oh, I know what the problem is. I'm very silly. This is the problem. I think like the viewport properties are the problem. I accidentally like moved the whole like screen like 16 pixels to like down and to the right. Now it should work. Now I want to make a level where There's one of these, like, angrily jumping, like, in a pit below you all the time. Unfortunately, like, there are no, like, physics interaction in this game, like, in the way that, like, in Mario games or whatever, so I can't do, like, a Bon Voyage, like, level type thing where you have to guide one of these, like, through, like, a series of things and then they, like, trigger, like, a thing or whatever. That's not the kind of game, but just, like, to have something to... Fuck, I need to make this. Anyway, we're going to leave you behind now. Also have to, like, remove you at some point. Because we need to look at the tile sets. Like, this platform is... What the hell? Like, what? Like, what? What? But the rest looks okay. I'm just, like, very confused as to, like, what happened here. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, sure. You know what we do here? We go, like, to this state, and then we'll grab this platform and just do this, because this looks better than whatever, like, that other thing would have been. Also, let's remove this friend here. I am going to make a level where, like, through the whole stage there's, like, one of these things, like, jumping like up and down below you, just, like, being very angry at you. I'll do that, I swear. Anyway, there was, like, a point I was trying to make, like, 50 minutes ago, whatever. So yeah, like, trying to, like, be an expert in your field and all that, because and that's, like, overall, like, something that, like, the more I think about it, the more, like, annoying I find it. Because, like, it's not only that you're, like, and that's kind of, like, the problem with being an independent developer, or like a singular game developer or whatever, is basically the smaller you are in terms of, like, size of, like, who's making the game, basically the more you have to, like, sell yourself as well. If you are and I mean, to some degree, like, makes sense, I guess, but if you work in a larger studio, you don't have to like, do the thing I'm doing here, right? Like, streaming my, like, workflow and talking about things. It's sometimes larger studios do that, like, also, like, to show, like, work progress and, like, all that stuff, because it's still, like, I guess, interesting marketing or whatever. But it's not like that each level designer in a larger game studio has to, like, sell themselves as, like, a level designer to the audience that will end up buying the game. You might end up, like, doing that, like, once or twice, but it's not, like, it's not part of your job description in general. Part of your job description is, like, first and foremost, build the things that we want to build. And again, the smaller everything gets, the more you have, and you, to some degree, you also have to sell yourself, like, when you work at a larger studio. I'm not saying that this doesn't happen, because, like, it's, like, for, like, career development or whatever, so it's, like, still something that you probably might end up doing anyway, but I'm pretty sure, like, in a different way. But the smaller you are, the more you have, like, you're kind of required to do that, because there are only, like, people are much more likely to care about something when there's a name attached to it. If I were to just make these games and not talk about this shit and all that, like, there's like the chance is very high that like press and whoever else won't really care about it. I mean, it's like still a very small audience, but the way to like basically grow this reach, like, is to do like this kind of work, to like putting yourself out there, putting basically like whatever you can think of that is kind of related to your game out there, to show what you're doing and to build kind of a connection to the audience you like would like to attract, would like to foster, which means there's like a bunch of like extra work attached to it, like, and you suddenly have to think about it, or like advised. I like, again, it's not something I like personally like doing, but you're advised to turn what you're doing also into like a way to present yourself and place yourself like to some degree like as an expert, which again I personally don't like all that much, because this is maybe me like downplaying like my own abilities to some degree, because like there's something that I must know and must be able to do, like, because like otherwise this all would be like a like complete and total mess, like nothing of this, like none of this would exist if I wouldn't like have like at least some degree of knowledge about what I'm doing, right? I'm always saying that, oh yeah, I'm just flailing around, but like there's still like some form of intention behind that flailing, and I kind of know where the like basically where the flailing ideally should lead to, like by the end, and just realizing that this is like the perfect. Honestly, this is the perfect music for this. Just thinking. I haven't really. I don't know. Like, who knows? Maybe this gets copyright marked. I don't know. Wolfchild soundtrack. Haven't really played that in the background for a while. So. Anyway, where was I? I was there. And there. So yeah, that's like, it's like this weird thing, and like, so again, there is like something that I like, probably I'm doing right, but like I don't feel like this is like, I have no idea what, like, how to frame this shit. Like maybe it's also like a part of like, because none of this is trained, like trained in the sense of like I went to school or whatever, and like I have no idea what all of this, like, in terms of terminology, or like what like the ideas behind certain things are. It's just like, okay, this is what I picked up. This is what I gathered from like trying to understand, like trying to make myself like understand why I like certain things and why I don't like certain things, and trying to build around that, and also like stuff that I read somewhere and that made sense to me. Like, and there's still like a lot of stuff where I think that maybe this is a good idea, but I have no idea, and I still like build like stuff that way. Anyway, this is like a bit of a messy like thought process, because again, like, this is like me when I'm rambling, and there might be somewhere in there might be a good idea, but it's like very, very deeply buried within the like wonders that is a brain with ADHD. It's like, oh yeah, that's a thought, there's another thought, oh, and there's another thought over there, let's go over there, and like for a moment, and like while we are also like doing this, which is work which kind of requires you to concentrate at least a little bit, which is like, it's a good idea to do everything this way, like definitely, like it's definitely good. Anyway, I don't know. So yeah, this like, and this is kind of, I guess, what I'm trying to get at is like, maybe this like also like one of the reasons why it's like occasionally like tough for me to like do these kinds of streams or like videos or like even blog posts, like where I like talk about my process to some degree, because it's hard for me to see what basically might be interesting to people, and what where the like general benefit from that would be, because also like most of this is like stuff that has been said by people who are much more talented than I am, and like much smarter than I am. And like, why should I repeat what those people have said? Like, like again, they're like additions to, like, to some degree, like to what I'm thinking. And again, it doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing. Like, it's just like that. I don't know. I'm a very confused person, I guess. I don't even know what I was getting at, but yeah, like, and then you have to, like, again, to sell yourself, it would be smart to like present yourself in such a way, but I can't, because why? Why should I? Like, why should I pretend to, like? And that's like it also goes kind of like to the way like how this like whole culture is kind of set up, and it's the same like with stuff like YouTube and whatever. And this is like where, like, again, I did YouTube like for like a while, and this was basically the way how like I basically pivoted from academia into video games. Was via like doing YouTube videos on like smaller games and covering them and all that. And what I found out when I started, and this is like where this came from as well, is like at some point I like said to myself, you can only get people to believe that you like know what you're talking about when you just flat out pretend that you do know what you're talking about, despite having no idea what you're talking about, which is a dangerous mindset to have, because that's how you get people who believe that they're an expert on everything, and like while like having no idea. I mean, that's, again, and if you like look at the general ecosystem on like of like social media in general, but YouTube especially like with people who are kind of whose job is like it is to have an opinion. At some point, the part of like I actually have no idea what I'm doing about it, I'm just pretending, gets really dangerous. And it's like the same part, I think, with game development, where like people are brought into these roles, or like encouraged to fit into these roles, where they have to become quote unquote thought leaders, or like whatever else you like. I fucking hate the term, by the way. Thought leader. It's like, no, like this is like it. Fucking hell. Thought leader already implies that you're more like your ideas and your thoughts are worthy of more attention and like consideration than those of others, which like is like a hierarchical like mindset to some degree, which is like so, in my eyes, so incredibly wrong. Because that's not what it should be about. Like, if you want to create something that's like fostering collaboration and all that, you can't really have thought leaders, because that's like more like, again, a great man theory or whatever. Like, I'm just like, again, this is like a lot of rambling. Don't quote me on any of this. There's probably like a blog post somewhere in this mess what I'm talking about right now. But yeah, like having to become that, and like despite you like not being really comfortable with it, and again, like there's a point where you might end up actually believing that your thoughts and everything you say is as important as you think it is, and that you have to be like, people have to listen to you all the fucking time, despite you not having much of interest to say to certain topics. Doesn't mean that you might not be an expert on other things, but it's fairly certain that you're not an expert on everything. And like, but people are kind of made to believe that like sometimes they are, because that's like the thing. And you can also see it in like in other things where like you get fairly like specialized things, how like indie developers are like basically selling a certain type of like advice or knowledge, where they think, oh, I'm specialized in this. You get this a lot with like business and marketing advice, like from developers. Where again, that's what like this is what I call business indies, like people who are like very much into like being very data focused and whatever, and yeah, fine and all that, but like this, it gets to a point where like you really like get the impression that they do believe that they have an answer to everything, when they don't, and they don't like see that maybe like other perspectives are like also worth considering. Again, there's somewhere in here, like I'm going to ramble, like keep rambling until I find the good idea that I feel that's in here, because I think there is one. There's a point here, I swear, like I promise, there's a point. Anyway, need to place this one. The problem with the so this is the, by the way, in the background, what's running right now, the music is the soundtrack to the Amiga game, and also I think Super Nintendo and Mega Drive game, Wolf Child. And if you have the time, look up the intro. It's like MS Paint anime like wonder. Like it looks like an MS Paint thing, but it's probably not hasn't been done in MS Paint, or wasn't done in MS Paint. But the problem with that soundtrack is that the level tracks, which are the good tracks, are always interspersed with the like music that plays during the boss fight at the end of each stage, and the boss tracks aren't as great. It's a bit unfortunate, but what can you do? I'm not. At some point, I need to check what happens when you just put all bosses in one room. Like this will probably break everything. There. Oh yeah, I also need to place some spikes down there. But yeah, it's like something I've been thinking about in general, because it's, for me, it's a lot is like, okay, what can I do? Like considering that I'm one person and have to make a game as well. Because you can do so much marketing, and like it's probably a good idea, but like it is like worth nothing if you don't have anything to show for it. Like, it's at least my consideration. Like, I'm pretty sure like you can't sell a game if you don't have a game to sell. So I have to make something, while also like trying to like do all these other things. And there's like only so much I feel comfortable doing before I feel like, okay, this might lead to you overextending yourself. Like for example, I'm always like, I'm still like considering maybe doing like a Discord server for like my games, because again, that's something that is kind of like recommended that you do that. But I'm also not very much into like this kind of work. Anyway, you know what? I've been going for over an hour. Let's take a break here, because we're like again at tile set stage. So why don't we take a break, and after that maybe do another level and be done with it? Like do the tile sets and then do another level, because it's been going fairly quickly, because these are kind of like easy stages to make. Anyway, I'm going to take a break for like 5 to 10 minutes probably. So see you in a moment, I guess. Okay. Um, at some point I need to like probably set something up in OBS where I can just like do like one move and have everything switch between different states, but who wants to do that? Anyway, let's play some backgrounds and all that. Maybe I wait with that, like with the like dark layer until the end, just to make it a bit less confusing. Also, like this is incredibly weird because these are spikes. The rest of the red stuff is ice. I'm very good at this. 5 was nothing. This was something. Yeah. Oopsie. Wow. I think I'm going to use these like this time around just to mix things up. Ooh, I could do something interesting. Maybe. Not really. Okay. Oh yeah. I also need to go in here. Okay, I have to pick another soundtrack soon because that one's over. Give me a moment. I have a lot. Let's listen to the soundtrack of the Amiga game Dogs of War. It's also like not very long and like kind of samey after the first track, but the first track is good. So where was I? Oh yeah, I was doing this right. Yeah. Maybe I only do this stage, I don't know. Like, because it's getting fairly late. 5:30 right now. I'm thinking about like, do I want to go past 6 p.m.? Cool. Properties. Okay. As always, let's check on this first before we do anything. Oh yeah, I think I can do this. Now, I think. Okay, this works. Also didn't look weird, which was important, kind of. Sublayer, tile layer, okay. General 1. Let's do the lava first. Okay. Now let's go in here. General 1. Oh yeah, here I can do just this. Just kind of neat. I think that's mostly it. Now let's go in here. These down. And these. Okay. And yeah, most of it, like this, will be just walls, I guess. Again, let's start with this and then place some actual decoration down afterwards. Like, I'm occasionally thinking, like, oh, this was a thought I had just like a few moments ago. Like, wondering, like, back when I made Splinter Zone, which, again, Splinter Zone kind of, like, the structure is like the same as like this like extra game mode is going to be. And I remember back when I like basically had the final I sat down to like finish Splinter Zone, which was like on like planning everything out, because like Splinter Zone went through like a bunch of like different phases, like because I had like different ideas with it and like how I wanted to do stuff, which was like also like because of like inexperience and all that, obviously. And when I sat down to like make the version that I like felt like making, which ended up being the final version of it that got released, I think like I made most of the stages. Like I made, how many was there? I think it was like 36 stages in the like release version, and I think it took me, and I had most graphics like ready. It was basically in a similar stage, like in terms of like what assets I had, like GB Rover, like or like these stages, but it took me like I think about like a week of straight working to get like a set of stages done for one area, and straight up working meant like not like doing a stream for 2 hours or like 2.5 hours and be done with it. This was like working more than 10 hours a day, like a lot of the time, or between 9 to 12 hours a day. And like something tells me that, and granted, like parts of it might be because Splinter Zone's area were larger, maybe, I don't know, but like it feels like I got a bit more efficient with like what I'm doing, is what I'm saying here, is like, which again is nice, I guess, but also wow, like how much, like, and I'm basically now doing like almost like a similar amount of work like that I did with Splinter Zone, and this is like an extra game mode, and GB Rover will like be like not that much more expensive than Splinter Zone is now. You could make an argument that maybe that's a reason to like push the price further up, but I'm not making that mistake again. I did that with Splinter Zone and it did not work well. So yeah, I think that's it, right? Let's see. I mean, there was like some stuff in Splinter Zone, I think that was a bit more like cumbersome to set up. Just like the overall process was a bit more like fiddly, I guess. Which might like explain why like it was like didn't work so well. I have no idea. Let me check something. Yeah, okay. Okay. As I was expecting. Also, like, overall, I think, like, one large issue with Splinter Zone in general was that it took me 1.5 years to complete. Like, I think, like, a lot of stuff would have felt much, like, more okay if it would have, like, I initially had, like, in my mind, had a development time. Like, when did I start? I started in December 2015, and I wanted to release it in April 2016. I released it in June 2017. Which again, it's not a forever game, but considering what it is, like 1.5 years is very long, but it's also very long because this was my first like big game project. And there was like a lot of like learning experiences like connected to them, like figuring out what I wanted to do, like we are like here again, so as always, like give me a moment. I don't want to show you my desktop while I save and restart Game Maker so that it actually places the tiles I put down. Also gives me a moment to maybe like check like a different soundtrack. Yeah, let's do Z out. Oopsie, pressed the wrong button. I don't want to download the update to Game Maker. Thank you very much. Okay. So, wondering if this is copyrighted. I don't know how, like, Chris Hülsbeck is about, like, his old music. We'll find out. Maybe I should go and make this a bit quieter so that people don't realize that, like, it's in the background when it is. I don't even know how, like, much, like, people hear it anyway. But yeah. So. God, this, like, the problem with Amiga music a lot of the time is, like, because it's, like, very stereo, like, it sounds very weird on headphones. Like, it sounds very flat, to be honest, for some reason. Maybe because my headphones are terrible. Could be. I'm still, like, amazed that they're not, like, broken yet. Because, like, when I bought them, one thing that was there, like, was like, oh yeah, these usually only last for, like, about a year before their connections break, and it's now, like, it's approaching 10 years for me. And for some reason it hasn't caused any issues yet. Like, I'll get slight connection issues every now and then, like, for a few, like, since a few months, but it's still, like, not a big problem. It feels that there needs to be an enemy here. Doesn't it? Like, it feels a bit empty, to be honest. I mean, it's okay. Like, this is one, like, this stage is meant to be an easier one. But this feels kind of like a lot of, like, dead space. But again, there's, like, this, like, deadly jump that you have to do, so. Yeah, no, that's fine. I think we can keep that. So, cool, another level done. Okay. Let's duplicate another template. I think the next ones that are left are a bit more complicated in terms of, like, layout. I mean, I could. Yeah, let's do this one. This is like a purely vertical one. Yeah, like on headphones, this, like, sounds so flat. Like, really, this sequence sounds so flat. It's fascinating. Anyway, so first of all, like, you would say, oh, this doesn't need a parallax object because it, like, there's no vertical parallax. Ooh, it does need a parallax object because the camera looks for one, and if there is no parallax object, bad things will happen. So we do need to put it down despite it being completely useless. But it's okay. Like, sometimes it's okay to be useless. Why isn't there, like, a pause object in here? What? Oh, like, yeah. I thought it was, like, I put it in the templates, right? Nope. Huh? thought I did that. Cool. Someone like go back and check what I did there, because I'm fairly certain that I did this. Anyway. This needs a pause object. This also, this has one. I have no idea what happened here. Probably a ghost. There's one. Okay, okay. Whatever. Like wrong room, my friend. This is the one I want. And also like this, like doing these levels gives me a bit of an opportunity to use enemies that I've barely used. Like this one. This enemy only appears in 2 screens in the whole game. So yeah, I hope they work in this setup. I think they should, but like oof, I sure hope that they do. I think I made a mistake in other levels. Oh god, I'm confused. Yeah, okay, this comes into the instance delay, because I think I made some mistakes here. Not here. How about this level? No, okay. Okay, everything's fine. This is me getting like insecure. Like, did I make everything right, or like, did I do a mistake again? Ugh, also, I was pretty sure that I put this in the template. Like, did the template just delete itself? Like what I did here? Or maybe it was like stuff got lost in some way when while I was like, because I restarted everything and like it didn't save. I have no idea what happened here. Because I'm pretty sure that I did this. Like, pretty sure. Like, also this is like, yeah, something like in the restart like got lost here. Like, definitely. Game Maker, I love you so much sometimes. Because I did change this, like, definitely. So, yeah. Something went wrong. Oh well. It's all good, I think. Like, as long as the game hasn't, like, any problems, which they shouldn't have, because I didn't change anything in them, but blah. Bleh. Okay, camera. This is like, again, a bit more work because it's vertical and we have to like restrain the camera in its movement. So we start with these. Again, like, theoretically, you could say, oh, these are necessary, but like the camera looks for them, so they have to be in here, even though there's no, like, there are no, like, adjustments to be made in terms of like making sure that the camera is in the right position and all that. This is purely to avoid the game crashing. And yeah, sure, you could like build it in such a way that you don't like that the camera only checks for those when there's like a need, but why make stuff like more complicated for strange edge cases when you can like just plonk down a bunch of empty objects? You're already putting a lot of them down because yeah. Also, the reason why I build it in this way is because if I just put it up here and increase it, like do this, the collision would only be like detected up here, and everything down here wouldn't work. No idea why, but it's like this is how it is. And because they are like ice floors, I think this might actually cause a problem because the camera might behave a bit differently. I don't know. It's definitely a problem with conveyor belts. So yeah. We have this. Okay, this is all almost set up. We still need two things down here. We need this, and we need this. Okay, now everything's set up on this end. So now we go down here and put these down. Ooh, I kind of have to put it up here. Otherwise, you might be able to jump out of the, like, I mean, you could probably, yeah, give me a moment, just that I have this already set up. Don't need you, I need you, so. Just have like very high walls here and then everything should be okay. You can't double jump out of the screen. That's the, like, that was my main concern here. Okay, back towards like doing this. Someone asked me again if I want to become famous, and no, thank you. No fame for me. Never. Barriers are all down. Now let's do letters first. Oh yeah, also doors. Probably important. I'm really wondering how effective these spam bots like buy accounts or whatever things like are, because like I can't really think of like, I mean they're like probably people like fall for this kind of stuff like when you're like, if you're like very inexperienced, I guess, then you could fall for it. But oh my, like, because this is like so like strange. This is ice. Spikes up here. Okay. Yeah, I haven't finished the letters. Let's do this. Hmm. Oh no. Didn't want to do that here, but here and here. Okay. I want to try something for a second once I... Because always, like, I mean, I can just look. Yeah, okay, it's the floor. Cool. I was wondering, because again, like in Splinter Zone, these weren't like solid objects, but things I'd like placed on top of floors. But I don't have to do that here. Cool. I could probably also do this, but I don't want to cause any like confusions when you like collide with like ice in a way that it's like maybe not intended, and I have no idea what happens. So let's just do this. Okay. I think I can make the grid larger again. Makes it a bit less time consuming. Okay. Let's try this. Floors visible. Letters need to be visible. I don't need visible spikes because I'll know it when I like run into them. Oh yeah, the ice should probably also be visible just for a moment. Can't wait to forget to like deactivate all of this. This is already not going to work. Well, I can see this. This has to go. Like maybe here. Yeah. No, let's put it here. And do it this way because it looks a bit nicer. Because this otherwise would be like you can't jump. So I mean, you can dash to a thing, but you don't start like one of these levels with the first thing you do is like a very awkward like jumping thing, or like jumping puzzle where like the solution isn't jumping but dashing. Didn't put the correct level in here. I was very confused there for a moment. Okay. Also, I haven't placed any enemies yet. I mean, this is also like an... Let's see. Is this an awkward jumping puzzle, or do you, like, can you get over there? I mean, you can use a double jump, so well, it's okay. I mean, this sort of works, right? So let's do the fly frosh. I think that's how they're called. Such a, like, this name makes so much sense. Gun frosh here. I think, yeah, fly frosh are these. This makes at least sense because they kind of look like the frosh enemies, which are these. But the gun frosh doesn't make sense. Because it like looks nothing like the fly frosh. Okay, that was my mistake. Also, I have no idea how these move, so maybe I should need to like place them differently. They always kind of move the same though. This is kind of awkward. All of this so far is awkward. Yeah, like no. Like one thing I need to do is like give them more space to move. I think this is okay. This can go here. Okay, let's try this again. Well, the problem with like in general with enemies is the moment they move out of the screen, they get they're gone. They get deactivated. So when this thing like goes up here, well, it will never come back. Cause it I don't, or maybe it doesn't get deactivated, but basically their whole movement just stops. So that's not ideal. I think aside from that, like, this is fine. I think so. Let's just go ahead. And again, I don't have to like really care about things. Can just put this down. But I know what I'll do here just to avoid awkwardness. Here it is. Also, maybe just do a save now. Who knows? If GameMaker again like decides to say, nope, I have what saving? No, you're never saved. Like, what? Don't be ridiculous. Who saves like ever? And pushing this a bit further up to make sure that like when the screen shakes, that like there isn't like a black void above the like background where there actually should be something. This is kind of actually important to make sure that you, like what I was talking about, that you don't end up like creating things that look confusing. Like that there might be platforms where there aren't. For example, this. You see how there's like a line, like a continuous line between this pipe and this platform? Sure, it's a different color, but like in the spur of the moment, this might look like, oh, this is a platform, I can stand there, when like actually you can't. This might work better, but it's still like too much like, oh, this looks like a platform. But I think I have to see how this looks, but like, let's use this. This should be fine. Again, as long as it's not a continuation of a platform, I think this should be okay. This should work. Okay, let's go in here. Let's use this background for a change. Let's be sure about what we're doing here. Also, like, this has to go a bit further up. Again, make sure that there isn't like a black void when like the screen shakes. Okay. I'm not sure if I might like, maybe there is no snowfall in this stage. What are the letters that I'm using in this level? Ugh. Oh, I'm not using any letters because you always fall down. Well, okay. That's also something that we can do. Then I can like freely choose. I think I pick these. Also, this has to go up. Let's place the floor first. Okay, now let's do these. Bam. Okay, I now need this one. No idea what this. I know what this is going to be. Also forgot to do something. Also, this is wrong. I thought I what? Oh yeah. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Ah, okay, but this way. Okay. Not sure. What to do here? In case you're wondering, this is like repurposed tile set from a like kind of abandoned project, which is why it's a bit weird, especially like compared to like other things. Ah, yeah, now I know why I place these, because otherwise it... this looks strange. I don't know what to do about this here. Oh well. I think I placed most of this. And I think I'll just do this. Yeah, this looks slightly better, I guess. Not so sure. But again, it's okay. Like nothing like worth like getting into the weeds over, really. Like not doing the same thing like last week. Which honestly was a tad unhealthy, to some degree. Like it's like always like an expression about like how like unsure you are, like insecure you are about yourself. I feel like at least sometimes when they're like get so much like fret so much over like tiny details and like without like they're really being behind like being that much into details. Wow. This track sounds terrible on my headphones. It really does. Bah. Because like the stereo separation is so like strict, like uh. I think that's all. No. Okay. Oh yeah, because of like tile layer inheritation shit. Ugh. Sometimes like tile layers in like GameMaker are like a pain. There's like so much weird stuff behind them. Like all I want is to make sure that like the stuff that is beyond the screen, like again, doesn't look completely empty. Like this way there's at least something up there. Okay, let's take another look at everything. And you can see, like, I think last week I had a stream where I like streamed for like about the same amount of time and only got 1 level done. And today I got 3 done. I feel like I need to change the projectile of these. They are not very much cool. That was a strange jump from my end. Ooh, like I jumped and like got like shortly attached to the ladder, I think. Accidentally activated hyper mode because of additional like buttons on the gamepad. Honestly, this room down here feels like there should be different enemies. Thankfully, I do have different enemies. For example, one of these. And what we can also do is oh god, oh god. I'm getting a strange idea for the, like, to make the dash a bit more, like, cool to use. Yeah, oh god. Okay, this is done. Let's take a look and see if I can get this done in like, I'm going to give myself a timer because I want to eat dinner also. So 20 minutes. So what I want to do is, so let me show you what I like, how the dash is and what I was just thinking. So the dash basically has one speed, right? Like you press and you're immediately at your maximum speed and all that. What if you start faster and after a short amount of time your speed gets reduced to the actual dashing speed? You know, because if you look at the animation and like the particle effects, like it really looks like there's like a lot of force behind the like start of the dash. Like there's like dust particles flying off and like energy bullshit happening and you're flashing for a moment. And I feel like there needs to be like a harder push, like for the first few frames of this. Not for a long time, but just for a few frames, and then have like, not like have the speed like immediately slow down, but like have the player like have the value approach that speed. And thankfully we can do that. Like I just have to check, is the dash speed a variable? It's not. I don't think that it is. Nope. Okay. I think it's 4 pixels per frame, isn't it? I hope people can see this. I have no idea. Let me know if you can see it. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. Oh god, this sounded so terrible on the headphones. Oh, I can't do that. Okay. We need to do this a bit different. God, I hope this like isn't breaking anything. Okay, yeah. Yeah, water. Now water, this needs to be 3. Letter doesn't matter. I mean it does kind of, but yeah. Also, like, this is incredibly redundant, like to define this stuff like over and over again, but yeah. What are we listening to now? Ooh, yeah, let's... Oh, nope, this might be, like, this actually might get me copyright claimed. Let's do Flimbo's Quest. This doesn't get me copyright claimed, because no one cares about Flimbo. It's just, like, a bit of a shame, because... I mean, the game is... but also, like, so... God, this is... Poof. So... This also means, oh god, this might, oh god, I have to. Let's increase it just by one pixel per frame. Now, dashing. Dashing equals true. So now what we need to do here is speed equals, let's approach h speed. Yes. It's actually wrong. We need to do this. So this would take about 3 frames, a bit more. So you would move like about 15, no, 3 pixels further. I don't know. I have to see like what feels good. Like 3 frames isn't a lot. So I could increase the speed, like the initial, like the initial push off, or I could like increase the I think if like I don't know if there's a difference actually. Like I don't think that I'll feel a difference. So let's push it higher. Let's go, and before we go into like underwater, let's go like let's be ridiculous. Let's do it like twice as high. The problem here is that the dash will like be the distance gets longer, and there isn't a lot of space like horizontally, so you have to be careful. But I want to see, okay, like also, like, I think that like this is definitely too quickly, because like it takes too long, like, to get to the like 4 pixels per frame. Cause like, how many frames does the dash actually last? I think like 12 or whatever. No, 18 frames. So, and going from here to there with a like, if you like roughly like three frames until it like goes like down by 1 unit, like it takes 12 frames to reach that point. So that's too high. But if we go to 6, this would be 6 frames, and the flash itself is 5 frames. So it's roughly the same. Like, it's not completely 6 because it's like 0.33333 and so on. But you know what I mean. I mean, what I could also do, maybe that's the way. I just want to see, like, and then have like a very high deceleration, like this is 8 frames. Oh no, blah 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 blah. The problem is that you're like traveling very far in these 8 frames. Fairly far, I think. So this is the normal thing. Oh god. Do I have like a thing where I could easily measure distance? I mean, these are like 32. I mean, oh yeah, I think I have something, because over here, this is exactly 1 screen. So, okay, about halfway. Yeah, it's like about like between like about, I would like guess 25 pixels further, 24, like roughly. If you like look at things like from here, you basically get until like your frontmost foot, or like the arm is on the height of the like energy bar here. And if you do it from here, you get like until your arm is like roughly in between, a bit further to the like closer to the closest of these grates. So yeah, that's quite a lot of distance, like if you think about it. I mean, there are 2 ways to do this. What if I reduce this to 10? Like, I kind of want to have it like roughly the same distance. Obviously, it will be a bit farther, but I don't want it to be that much farther. I mostly want to like, I could do like weird calculation of like, where maybe you start faster but like slow more down, like again to like, okay, let's try again. Roughly from here. Okay, now your arm, like your frontmost leg is on height of the grate. You're about now like 16 pixels. Let me try something. Let's go to 12. And like reduce this to 3. So you have like a steeper like curve, like you slow down more towards the end, but you start faster. Like the frames and all that is the same. If I can manage to roughly get the same distance. Ooh, like just like in terms of like button press, this feels incredible. Like this feels really good. About 6, I'd say. This is 4. I'm still like a bit too far. But this feels really good to do. Like, I think I'm like roughly where I want this to be. Okay, yeah, a bit shorter than the previous thing. You can just see it how like I mean it's like sure that oh yeah also this is obviously slower because the like dash speed is slower. I forgot. What if I put this at 11? I mean, I could make a calculation like with the normal speed, like with the normal setup. You move at 4 pixels per frame, you move for 18 frames. So that's 72 pixels. So obviously the problem here is that like I mean you can calculate that right. You could there's probably a formula for that, but just like we have 18 frames and it goes down until you're at 3 pixels per frame. First frame you move at like 11. Let's do 12 because that was the first thing. Second frame 11. Third frame 10. Fourth frame 9. Then 8. Fifth frame sixth frame seventh frame, eighth frame, ninth frame, 10th, 11th, oh no, like 11th, 12th, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there's like a difference of like roughly 17 pixels, I think, like one tile more or less. So that's definitely a formula how you can do this, but so let's do 11 for the first, 10 for the second, 9 for the third, 8 for the fourth, 7 for the fifth, 6 for the seventh, 6 like what? No, 6 for the sixth. I think I like miscalculated. 11. I need to like. The music is distracting me. 11. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18. Now it's 15, like, what? Oh, it was 25, now it's 15. So, like, I reduced it to, like, by 10. So, I mean, there's probably a thing. Like, again, there's, like, a thing. I'm fairly certain if I put it down to 9, first, second, third, no, not 9, 10. If I put it down to 10, it should be roughly the same. Like 10, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18. Now I'm 7 frames ahead. 7 pixels. This is still half a tile longer. Like, so with 9 might be a bit too short actually. 9, like, oh god, no. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, like 13, 14, 15, 17, 18. Yeah, now I'm 3 frames behind. But what I can do, I could do like 9 and then, like, to roughly adjust this, put this down to 0.8. I need to, oh yeah, also, like, no wonder this doesn't work. I think what I'm doing here, like, just for now, okay, yeah, I'm in my, you have to stop working. Oh no, this is, like, wrong. Let's do it this way. Just so that I can, like, test this a bit, like, better. Left false, left true. Okay, let's put this to 4. Just to see, like, if I can, like, feel the difference. It should be roughly, like, the same in terms of distance that you travel. Like, again, the important part is that, like, the impression is different. And I think it is. Like, there's a bit, again, like, it's fairly subtle, but it's there. So I think, yeah, it's roughly the same distance, I think. Like, let's check it over here. That's the, like, best like, place to do it. I mean, obviously, like, god, like, I am doing this. I am, like, doing, like, a long jump thing here now. So you go away. I don't need you. Yeah, okay. Good thing I have like so many different tile sets. So like let's do it this way. So this is the runoff part. This is the part where I have to start dashing. And these are the ones for counting. Let's see, do I have something that's a bit more clear? I guess I could use these. Yeah, I mean, like visual, it's not important that they are like visually distinct, right? like that it like fits together visually or whatever. Oh, cool. I misplaced. I did like the wrong thing. Okay. Let's get going then. I have to build the same area over here because I need to like check it like into this direction as well. Also, let's remove the you. Like maybe you go over here. Like it doesn't matter, but yeah. Again, there might be like slight differences, but as long as it's like in a way where I can't like directly tell. Okay, let's try this again. I mean, I could like this would be like a bit much, but like I'm basically between 1, 2, 3, 4, between 4 and 5. So yeah, roughly 72 because 4 times what? Yeah, 5 times is 80. 5 times 16 is 80. 4 times is 64. And I'm in between both of them, like which is like 8, like which is distance is 8, which is 72. So that's kind of like where I am. So let's try it from this direction. Just roughly the same, right? Like I may have like pressed it a bit earlier, but yeah, it's roughly the same distance. So, and there is like a considerable, like it feels different. It's not that pronounced. I could probably make it more pronounced, like via different means, but I think this, like as an improvement, like on something that was already kind of good, I think I'll take this. It'll be a bit of a problem in like underwater, but yeah, well, oof. Actually thinking that maybe what I'll do underwater is I'll have the same, like, because you're like using the same force, you'll theoretically, I mean, and then have it, where are we? Like what? Like what? Where? What? 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 Like what? What am I calling this? Oh God, this is such a mess. I think I keep this like minimum speed also the same. But what happens is that you get slowed down faster when you're underwater. Because again, like you have like slower dash speed underwater, usually. So it was like what, 3 pixels per frame. So like for 18 frames, that's because I can basically make like a similar kind of calculation, right? For 18 frames, that was 30 plus 24, 54 pixels. Okay, so that's not like very long. So what we can do here now, and what we have to do, kind of like, okay, you start at 9. Fucking hell, I'm not doing that this way. Not like for underwater shit. I'll probably just eyeball it. If it's a bit further, it's okay. I think. Yeah, I could like make this calculation at least. Oh, that was already wrong. Why is it 9? It's like, does it start at 9? Yeah, I think it starts at 9, right? God. Why am I getting these ideas right at the end? 9, 7.8, 6, no, yeah. 9, 1.2 always. 6.6, 5.4. And now I'd like 9, 7, 8. Okay, fourth frame. 5.4. 4.2. And then we'll add 5.2. Then we add 3. Okay, 5 frames. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, which like doesn't make much sense. No, that's wrong. Because that's a distance. That, like, what? I did a mistake here. I mean, I could just like test it and see how it feels. And like, if it's okay, I'll just keep it, because who cares about water levels, right? Yeah, that's about 64. Which I guess is 10 pixels further, but considering it's only in the water levels, like, it's okay. It's still like, again, this is mostly about like the stuff feeling more nicer to do, and I think I'll keep it that way. I can still like always change it back to like just being like a constant like raid, but I feel this is much nicer. And anyway, yeah, I guess that's it. Like, this has been almost 3 hours. Oh my god! Like, it's a Saturday. Why am I doing this for 3 hours? Anyway, I hope this was kind of interesting. Bit like, this is like what you say at the end is something like, this happens sometimes, like fairly often to me, like in the evenings, like me getting an idea at 10 p.m. or like 9:30 or whatever, and thinking, yeah, no, I have to do this now for some reason, instead of like, writing a note, sticking it on the wall, and doing it the next day or like 2 days after, because this shit doesn't go away. But like, oh, I wanted to try something, and like gave myself a timer, and I don't know how far I went over. I think like 10 to 15 minutes, but still. Anyway, I hope this was interesting. I don't have like a call to action thing. I think. Oh, I may have something. Where do we have it? Why do we have it? Why do we have it? Like, I have like a trailer stuff. This should be something, right? Maybe I can do it in here. It's not full screen, but still. It's at least some kind of screen for the outro. In case you're wondering how I'm doing the end cards in my like GIFs and whatever, this is it. I have a room where I like put the text in. Anyway, I hope this was interesting. And like in some way like informative or whatever. Thank you very much for watching. If you are interested in this game, please wishlist it on Steam. That would be incredibly cool. Aside from that, you can follow me on Twitter at Mokograd if you want to like have more like continuous updates about like how the game's going and all that kind of stuff. You can also I guess follow this Twitch account or subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're watching the archive, or if like follow the Twitch account if you're watching the archive on Twitch, which you can also do. There's also like an email newsletter, but I don't have the URL like in my head. But if you're watching the YouTube video, you can like find the link in the description as well as all the other links. You can also find most of the links on my Twitch page somewhere, so look out for those. This has been fun. Very fascinating to see like how much like more like I can add to things that are like, again, these are like very minute improvements sometimes. Like, okay, the dash now like functions slightly different, but it feels a bit more interesting to use. And again, like the previous thing was fine, but now it's even finer. But yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, see you soon on all that. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice week. And goodbye.